me a second. Give me a second. I will check.
I think, yep, we are live.
Well, bring us in with that.
Every single time. Well, here we are. DC Alliance, Chapter 26. My name is Greg, the Bat Daddy 52, and with me, as always, my homeboy, Mr. Hines. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Greg. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I got the day off tomorrow. Not really a whole lot I've got to do. Going to try to get some stuff done, but some stuff watched. But other than that, not really a lot going on at the moment.
Well, yeah, that's not too bad.
So what's up? What's up with you?
Not much really. Just waiting for Christmas. Birthday soon, so
Yeah, Thursday, right?
yeah,
There you
Thursday.
go.
So
Happy
I'm gonna
early birthday.
relax. And unfortunately, our DC listeners, not unfortunately, but we like both DC and Marvel here. I've been playing the hell out of Spider-Man Miles Morales the last couple of days, so it's been pretty fun. Yeah, that's an early birthday gift.
Good deal, man. Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to play that yet. Actually, I haven't played any kind of games in quite a while, so maybe I'll get drug in some.
You were saying something about Thursday?
Thursday. Your birthday?
No, I thought you were saying something after that about like.
Oh, just Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do that overrated holiday.
Best holiday of the year, man.
Oh my god, that's the most nonsense I've ever heard. I could list 5 at least off the top of my head that are better.
Good, do it.
Christmas, Christmas, yes. Easter. Easter, yes. There's 2 weeks of holidays as a student in Easter. Like you get off for a whole midterm, mid-semester break. No, you look at it all. You gotta look at it all points of view. I said Easter, right? Number 3, 4th of July.
4th of July is pretty great.
Labor Day weekend. I like that more than Thanksgiving. Halloween. I mean, like I could go on for a little bit longer.
But you can't really compare Labor Day weekend to Thanksgiving Day
when you got a girlfriend.
No.
Valentine's Day when you got a girlfriend for the first time.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Thanksgiving is something that you can do any Sunday. That's my point of view.
No, but you don't.
Get together and
That's
have
the
something.
Point of it. Thanksgiving.
Time to turn off the Hallmark channel.
Hey, well, there we go. First squirrel before we into the plugs.
Also, listeners, we had our Thanksgiving a month ago.
Right. Exactly. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what's a Canadian Thanksgiving like. Is it not a really big deal?
No, it's just no different than like gatherings that would happen most Sundays where your family would get together. You'd all eat turkey or chicken with vegetables and fixings to go with it. And you'd play music and play games out in the backyard. And that was pretty much every weekend for me growing up. With at least my mother had 14 brothers and sisters. So it was pretty much anarchy at my grandmother's at all points in time. And it was amazing.
I could imagine so. That's crazy. Yeah.
I guess that's why Thanksgiving doesn't mean as much to me, maybe.
Possibly. And I may not everybody else, but for me, it's one of my favorites. So, anyway, way off track.
Greg.
Way off track. Oh, I'm planning on it.
Bring us back with the network plugs, bud. Bring us back.
Yes, we are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, which is consistent of a number of shows, 7 days a week. So you can find us every single day, something we're putting out there. We have World's Finest True Believers covering comic books, DC Alliance podcast with me here, Heinz here, talking about everything DC. Marvel Alliance podcast, our counterpart. We have a Star Wars Alliance podcast covering everything Star Wars. There's also Slice of Film, where Katie's covering some films with somebody else, just resulting in something the viewer hasn't seen or the guest hasn't seen or herself either. It's usually pretty fun. Super Civil Servants podcast live on Fridays. We have superhero discussions Friday mornings. Me and Travis covering animated shows. On the weekends, you can catch Weird Science, DC, and Marvel Comics, which is really fun, covering Kermit comics going on in the stores right now. And then we also have a Ranger Alliance podcast, said it without the S, Ranger Alliance podcast covering everything Power Rangers. So you can get pretty much everything you need here on this network. It's pretty fun so far.
Yeah, we've hit our stride, I think, and it's been really fun. Special thanks to the patrons. We have a Patreon account. $1 tier just helps us keep the candles flickering. And it's just a little donation to us. And $5 tier gets you ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon-only episodes.
Yeah. Very, very good stuff. Yeah, and once again, thank you to all the patrons. It's always fantastic to see the support, and we really appreciate it. And just appreciation in the chat room. The truth is this hello, gentlemen. Hope everything is well. Yes, it is. Hope you're doing well.
I've been really enjoying his live streams lately. They've been perfect timing for me. I've been popping on him, and he's been spitting out a lot of Zack Snyder knowledge. So
nice.
Props to the truth for just spitting the truth, as I would say in his chat.
There you go. Well, all right, man. Well, let's go ahead and get started. We got a little bit of news this week. Our main deal is going to be talking about DCCW, which I know Travis is going to love. End it with some show questions and would you rather's, and then we'll get out of here. So let's get going. As always, I pass it to you, Mr. Hines. Get us going with some news.
Well, we're going to start us off by hopping into the world of Titans, Greg. Titans, they've been doing this thing. I got to say, first of all, I was not fooled this time like I was with the Red Hood reveal. They gave a little 15-second teaser video last time, and I thought we were going to get a little trailer or a little video of Red Hood. Instead, we got still frame. So instead of that, we get Starfire here in all her glory. And it's very different. We had got to look at her costume in the season 1 finale that was changed around, repurposed, as they say. So this here is a different look, and it looks amazing. Now, in Anadop's defense, there isn't much that she's gonna. There isn't a look that I'm not gonna love from her. She is stunningly beautiful. She's like a goddess, and she's so much of a badass. So I just like this as comic accurate as you could be. There are other costumes, but we don't want to have her with there's some forms of Starfire's costume, including the classic Teen Titans cartoon, that aren't fit. That's not going to promote her. I love this look, Greg, and I sent you an extra higher quality picture, and it looks amazing. So I'm really excited about this. Basically, this is something that I want to see for a while, and all they need to do now is show me Beast Boy changing into different animals, and then my criticisms will go away, and I'll be just crossing my fingers that the finale is good.
Yeah. And that's the way I'm kind of going into myself the whole season anyway. But seeing this is amazing because you're right, absolutely gorgeous. Just not just perfect casting for the role. The suit is amazing. I'm a big fan of purple anyway. And you're right, for comic book accuracy, it's hard to have that comic book accuracy look without looking kind of goofy sometimes. But it looks like this does a really, really good job. I can't wait to see it in action. I'm just excited, man. You sent me this, and then you're right. You sent me that close up, and that close up's even better. It's amazing. Really, really beautiful picture. I can't wait to see this. This excites me more for Titans. We got to see the Nightwing suit reveal at the end.
Red Hood. Oh yeah,
Nightwing at the end of last season. Yeah, well, the Red Hood. For this one right here. Now we're getting to see the Starfire. It's looking pretty good. There were some things I didn't like as much about the Red Hood, but it still overall looked really good. So I'm excited, man. You're right. It's just a matter of sticking the landing for me. I think everything else on it's going to be fine. Well, I've accepted no crowbar.
Well, I'm not going to accept anything until I see it. So we may not even see it off screen. I just wouldn't mind a mention of it. But I do think that this is a moment that we have to commend the Titans costume and makeup and wardrobe.
Yeah.
They are just as good as any live action movie outfit, Marvel, DC. They are fantastic, from the Hawk and Dove costumes to the Aqualad and Nightwing, and even Wonder Girl.
The little bit of Batman you got to see looked pretty good.
Yeah, Raven's costume is pretty great. Like you said, the Red Hood. I like the Ravager costume, Deathstroke. Everything has been on fire in terms of costumes. The only thing that didn't look good was the what's his name, Trigon, in Centauro type form.
Yeah, that's hard to pull off though.
That's CG. That's not even costume. So that's kind of doesn't follow him. So yeah, they deserve to be commended for that. And I echo your things of being really excited. Echo your thoughts of being really excited about this. And normally we save our questions from the listeners till the end, but we have a question that kind of coincides with Titans, so we're going to tackle it now from our good buddy over at the Spycast Network. Brentak Prime asks, what new characters would you like to see join Titans? Greg?
Man, he asks this literally seconds before I hit the record button. So I'm trying to. I really would need to think about that. I guess when he says characters, it could be anybody, not necessarily teammates, but just villains, background characters, something you'd like to see a hint of.
Yeah.
Gosh. I'd like to see Miss Martian, maybe.
Hmm.
That'd be an interesting character to put in there. I've already seen Superboy. I'm pretty good with the cast they have, man. I
Tag me
hope.
in.
Huh?
Tag
Tag
me
you
in.
in? Tag me
Tag me
here.
in.
Here. There you go. You tagged. Go.
Arsenal for one. Roy Harper would be
That's a great call.
uh,
Yeah. See.
a one that I would like to see. I also would like to see Static Shock. I think that he could be done really well in this, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't be one of the ones that I would think. Miss Martian is another really good one. I'd love
Ooh.
to see Brother Blood as well as for a villain. I think
Mm-hmm.
that he could be great, and
I'd like to see
also
Blue Beetle.
that's not a bad one either.
Yeah.
Another one that I would like to see is at the end of the season we have them finding Tara, and she comes into the fold to set
Yeah.
up next season's Judas contract storyline with Deathstroke returning. So, and the team thinks he's not alive anymore. So that would be my suggestion for characters. And Brett also asks, how many episodes until we find out Donna is alive?
Okay. It really depends. Is it going to be a matter of has to be brought back to life and we find out that she can and then it's just a matter of doing it, or is she alive and we have to find out she's alive? I think if it's a situation of she's alive, we find out she's alive. I don't think that happens till the very end, till like maybe the penultimate episode. They maybe hint at it here and there. If it's something where they find out they can resurrect her, then I think it'll be revealed somewhat early, maybe the second episode or so. And then it'll be something they work towards that'll happen probably in like the penultimate episode or right there around it, in my
Uh,
opinion.
my opinion is we will find out by the second episode, maybe even the finale of the first episode.
Okay. Good point.
The
Yeah.
final part, because we're going to find out that when the Titans find out is another thing. I think that the Titans will find it. Raven will find out first, and then the Titans will find out after when Raven comes back. I also think that she will come back evil first, and I think that Raven, if you remember, for your knowledge, I'm trying to think just for like where I could place this for you that you would know. Uh, I think by the end of the season, she's going to do the same thing that she did with Damien in Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of turning white and bringing him back. I think she's going to do the same thing for Dana after she comes back evil. I think she's going to do the same thing for her. So that would be my prediction for that. And for episodes, like I said, I think we'll find out by the end of the first episode, if not sometime in the second episode, that she's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see those. Cool deal.
So special thanks, Brent, for the question there. Just snuck that in just before we started recording. Nice job there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we always appreciate it. You got anything else, Starfire or Titans, you want to talk about before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
All right, cool. I guess next we'll go into the Green Lantern anthology series news we've gotten. Or I guess that it is an anthology series is kind of the news and kind of a layout of it. You sent me this article, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this Green Lantern series. And there were a few things that stuck out really big to me in this article that I wanted to talk to you about. And one is that that they're doing this project in LA as opposed it's supposed to begin shooting in April 2021 in Los Angeles, and they pointed out specifically about how different that is from all this CW stuff, DCCW stuff. And how different do you think that would be for the DCCW and the characters if it was in Los Angeles instead of in Canada?
Not one bit,
You don't
because
think so?
no, it's a
I thought
serial.
part of the complaint was the weather.
No, it's the serialized television. That's what people
Okay.
don't realize. Is cable TV. They have between 1 and 2 weeks to get some of these episodes out when they're rolling. So you're not
Okay.
going to get any change regardless. Supergirl didn't really change. The only thing changed with Supergirl when it came from CBS in LA to CW is the numbers went down because it went to a smaller network. But
Okay.
besides that, maybe a bit of the budget went down as well for special effects. But overall, for the story or for the show, it doesn't really affect it enough to make a big difference. Like I don't think that that's an important thing here. I don't think that if it was in Vancouver, it would have any bearing anyways, because the stuff that we got to look at is the budget and the rating, because that stuff is what and how long they have to complete the project, because that's the stuff that hampers the DCCW from becoming like I won't say it's average television because it's above average and it's above average superhero television, but there's a reason that not every season and not every episode is the top of the top. And you just don't have the time sometimes to devote to an episode that you would like to, or to stunt choreography that you would like to. So
Yeah.
I think that the pluses here are it's going to be better because it's on a streaming service. They have all the time in the world to do the story, and there's no like rating or anything. They can do whatever they want because it's streaming. Now,
Yeah.
like PG-13 would get more audience, but that's not what they care about really here.
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that article, the whole thing is very interesting, and I don't know how true is all this. Like, it's a pretty solid
A
source.
lot, yes. Yeah. One
Okay,
thing that
okay.
was really interesting to me, Greg, was the anthology series type
Mm-hmm.
thing where they're using like mini faces and
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I really like. Like different Green Lanterns doing different missions for different episodes, or like a
Yeah.
two-part episode being. That's the thing I wanted Legends to be when I first heard it, and when I first saw like Flash and Arrow in the trailer that never meant never, like wasn't really from the show, more or less was just from promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and Brent have a couple of discussions on that. Back and forth every once in a while about if it was real. And like I got duped into thinking that they were going to be a big part of it, Arrow and Flash, but they're the majority of the trailer, minus the minute of like showing some things from the show. But and Flash was in one of those shots, so my thought was that Legends was going to be like you do two-part episode, very similar to Justice League, the animated series, where you do two-part episode, and those people would be on the wave rider for those two parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next episode, the next two-part episode, you'd have some of the people that were on there, but it would be different crew, different people. Like it would be like whoever's available to come on
That
a
would have been
mission
pretty
type
cool.
deal. I
Yeah.
thought that that's the way that was going, and it didn't go that way at all. So Travis has learned over the years to not expect things and temper, and then he forgets those lessons, and then Crisis comes along and it teaches him again.
It still turned out being one of the longest running OG shows for DCCW as far as their network we go on, but we're going to talk about that in a little while. Okay, so just reading straight from the article here, it says they're currently casting the leads for the Green Lantern with some interesting info on the characters and their setup of the developing series. The three leads, Guy Gardner, Bree Jarda, and Alan Scott, are all intended to be regulars and are described as follows. The descriptions of these are pretty cool. Guy Gardner, white male, a hulking mass of masculinity, and is rendered as rendered in the comics. Guy is a personification of the hyper patriotism found in the 1980s that birthed Hulk Hogan and Rambo. However, Guy is still likable. He may act foolish, but he is not a fool. Guy loves his daughter and his wife with all of his heart, partying hard, driving fast, with a hot-tempered heart. I said, but like many alpha males, there is a deep undercurrent of pain driving it all. So
I'm just not a big fan of Guy Gardner in general, but like any Green Lantern is a Green Lantern for me. He's been a little bit of a nerdy dork. Not nerd, dork. I guess we'll do Bree Jarta, black female, 30s. Few Lanterns take their commitment to the core and its purpose more seriously than Bree. Bree is half human, and it's the half she worked hard to forget. Bree has an alien mother and a human father. However, she was raised on a more enlightened planet with an advanced society. Bree outworked her peers and earned her ring, only to find herself partnered with Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I guess just wrap it up with the Alan Scott description is white male, 28 years old. From the outside, Alan is the model of the early 1940s. He is the image of the G-man. Alan is handsome, clean-shaven, and is well-dressed without a hair out of place. He spent his young life trying to personify truth, justice, and the American way. He is already a household name in LA and is seen as a hero thanks to the positive press coverage. However, for all of Alan's honesty, there is one huge lie that follows him. He is a gay man, a fact that in his era could cost him his job or even his life.
Yeah, I love the different backgrounds, different things that each Lantern's dealing with, and just the overall different points of view we're going to get in different years. Like this is like 1940s for Alan Scott, and that's why I'm really excited about this. I couldn't be more excited.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to find it here. They have it set up right here. Where they had the anthology part of it, where you're right, 1940s for Alan Scott, for Bree and Guy, it's 1980s, and then they said present day was going to be. I can't even find it now. I had it on here. Everybody that's not Kyle, John, or
you're thinking like Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, Jessica Cruz. There was two more though. I couldn't remember.
That's all right. Simone Baz, maybe.
Yeah, that was the other one. So, yep, you got it. There we go. So it'll be pretty cool. I like the idea of it. I don't know if it's going to be a situation of traveling through time and these characters interacting with each other, or just looking at different stories through different times. How one affects the other, if that's even the case at all, if it's just different stories through different times. It'll be interesting. It's going to be cool to see a Green Lantern on screen again. I hope they don't mess it up. I don't think they will. Well, I've already seen a Green Lantern,
Oh, I'm sorry. I tried to forget about that.
Yeah, it was good. I like it. I got the director's cut.
I'll just torment.
I know. Everybody does. It's okay. Love it. Nothing wrong with it. But all right, man, that's all the Green Lantern stuff. Is there anything else you wanted to point out about this? I know it's written to be as one of the HBO Max most ambitious projects. So
sorry to Brant and myself and many other DCCW fans, it does not look like John Diggle is anywhere near this project.
It doesn't. Yeah. It'd have been cool. It would have been really cool, but no, it doesn't look like it.
I'm okay with that. I'm hoping to see him show up on something else.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he does show up on something else. That'd be cool. Yeah. He was a great character, and I love the actor, so it'd be awesome. But all right, man. Well, before we get into the last little bit of news here, walking us right into the questions, do you want to go ahead and take a break?
Yes, let's take a break.
All right, cool. Well, folks, this is a ad-supported network, so we're going to take a couple breaks during the show. Once again, we don't pick the ads. We just pick the place of where they're going to go. Can get a little bit loud, so just watch the volume, but we'll be back in about 30 seconds. All right, and we're back. So if you're watching live, it's Podcast Magic. There you go. Let's go, man. What's the next news? We only got two more things, both associating with the DCCW.
No, we do not. See, that's his listeners. This is why Mr. Greg needs to check the messages.
I have my notes right here.
Earlier, because we have a quick tidbit that I sent you on 6/12 that says that you've seen it. So clearly it didn't tickle your fancy like it did mine. All 26 scripts are done with Young Justice.
Yes, I saw that. Every week you send me one of those.
That's not true. That's not true, listeners. That's not true. 22 episodes are fully recorded, minus a pickup here or there, and the last 4 are partially recorded. So hopefully we will get these at some point. I'm not sure if they record first before they get the animation or not. So that'll be the big thing there. But that's interesting. It's nice to see that Young Justice is moving forward even during these terrible times.
It is exciting to see that, but I'm going to go through and check my messages because I'm pretty sure you sent me the same message last week right before the show. Before the show.
No, it was different.
And I think it was the same thing, but it was only 20 episodes instead of 22 completed. And I was like, oh, cool. They've made progress in a week, that's awesome. But I am excited. I am excited for it. I don't know. I'm just messing with you. But
also, one other thing as well. I was sending that as Zack Snyder, various other people, including Joe Manganiello, Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, all tweeted out or posted on Instagram the Us United AFSP hashtags with their pictures just to raise money. Snyder was trying to get to 500,000. I want to say. That was back when he released the trailer last week, but I'm pretty sure he's going to reach that goal if he hasn't already. I'm pretty sure when the listeners are listening to it that he has, which, props to everybody involved there. Anyone that bought anything or donated anything to AFSP. It's pretty awesome, pretty amazing. $500,000 raised. Give yourself a round of applause there. Applause.
Applause. Are we still streaming live? Did our stream just crash? It said that I'm signed out of Zoom.
That could be the Geekverse guys. You know what they do? They could just knock us off to stream or
Well,
anything.
we're
So
still streaming on the YouTube channel, so I guess just keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going anyway. We're going to keep going forward anyway.
Right. Exactly. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, cool. So yeah, I left those parts out. Yeah, I do like, I was trying to look up the how much they had raised at this point. But I was too slow and I think I hit a button and
John K, is that who I think it is in the chat?
John K. I don't know. Let me check in the chat. I hope Starfire shows up in Green Lantern. I hope so too. That'd be cool. That'd be really, really cool to see. Dang, this is weird because I'm not signed into Zoom anymore.
We're going, Greg. Let's keep going.
We're still streaming. Okay, cool. Let's just keep going.
Don't even that. Just that analogy. Let's keep going.
All right. So anyway, yeah, let's keep going then. Stargirl casting. We'll bring that up real quick. There's just some rumor. It's now this is from rumor, but is it
multiverse Murphy's multiverse. Now they've been right on several things. They go in the middle ground of people that I won't 100% confirm. Or I won't throw away either. They're not Grace Randolph, but they're not like Variety or Justin Kroll or anything like that.
Right.
Rumor here is that DC Stargirl cast Alcoya Brunson as Jakeem Thunder, the person that basically has control of the pen, the magic pen that is talked about there in Stargirl. His name was dropped by Mike as one of his new friends. So I was curious because I thought they may not go with him and may go with like just have Mike as the guy with the pen and the power because it just would be another way to bring him closer to his sister. But I guess they have a bigger plan for him, and I'm all for this casting. I'm sure this kid's going to be fantastic because that's one of the things with Stargirl casting. I don't have a complaint about any of them. I know Snell didn't like Brainwave as much, but I didn't have a complaint with any of the characters, and I'm assuming this is going to be good. And they tease this pin so much now that I'm really interested to see the payoff.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy. I didn't. Once again, I didn't know what was going on with the Jim Gaffigan thing in this, and I think Chris Balgood hinted to us last year about the Jakeem reference because I don't think I remember hearing about it. Did you? I mean, I could be wrong.
Yes,
yeah, so
we heard it was in the episode.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I think Chris was the one who called out that or called out to me because I wouldn't have ever picked that up. I don't know. Maybe it was you. I'm not sure. Did you would have known about that?
Yeah, I immediately wrote Brent when I watched the episode, and he confirmed it.
Maybe it was. Yeah, I talked to a lot of people that are way more knowledgeable about stuff than I am, so maybe it was. I'm not sure, but
I don't want maybe Chris did tell you, so I don't want to undercut Chris or take away any of his glory. But I know that I thought that's what it was, and then I wrote Brent, who is basically a walking encyclopedia for comics.
Right, that's good.
And he confirmed my suspicions.
Yeah, good point. So this is going to be kind of like a character with a genie type deal.
Yeah. But the wishes is monkey's paw type wishes where like you got to be really careful with the wording and like they might not be exactly what you think they are.
Bedazzled. I got you.
Oh my God. Someone get him a copy of the Twilight Zone DVD so he can watch like where that came from, the Bedazzled came from.
Hey, it's a good movie back in the day. Yeah. So same kind of thing.
You and I have different definitions of good movie. If that's
there's not really a whole lot of bad movies in my opinion. I think that's my problem. Maybe I'm too easy on some things. I've been trying to be harder on things, but I don't know.
You're like I did that with Rise of Skywalker.
But anyway, I was like that with Rise of Skywalker too. So yeah. Stargirl's second season is already in production, so it's good to know. Next season we'll see the team face the likes of Shade and recently unleashed the Eclipso. I'm excited, man. First season blew me away. I'm excited to see what's going on next season. I can't really point out a whole lot of things that I didn't really like or that really bothered me about the last season. There's nothing that really stood out in my mind that would make me complain. So let's see it.
Season 2. Can't wait.
Next part, go ahead and lead us into the Black Lightning stuff, man, because you know more about this than I do, because the only thing I saw about it was that, the news you're about to tell. So,
well, Greg, this was a big surprise because, in my opinion, right now, the best DCCW show on TV is Black Lightning.
Mhm.
So to get the news that Black Lightning is going to end after season 4 on the CW, that kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting it. Uh, I'm going to just read a little bit of what was said here uh, by uh, showrunner Salem Akil. Uh, when we first started the Black Lightning journey, I knew that Jefferson Pierce and his family of powerful black women would be a unique addition to the superhero genre. Uh, they love that the love that blurs and all comic book fans around the globe has shown this series over the past 3 seasons prove what we imagine black people want to see themselves in all their complexities. And I couldn't agree more, Greg. I think that this was such a good show. And he also says thank you to phenomenal cast, writers, and crew, without whom none of this would have been possible. I'm incredibly proud of the work we've been able to do and the moments we've been able to create in bringing DC's first African American family of superheroes to life for this culture. I'm very grateful to Peter Roth, Warner Brothers TV, Mark Pedowitz, the CW Network, and Greg Berlanti for their partnership and support of my vision at every step of this journey. While season 4 may be the end of the one journey, I'm extremely excited to usher in a new chapter and continue the collaboration with the CW as well. CW as well. Tell the story of Painkiller.
Were they blindsided with this?
I don't think so. I think that from what I've read and what I've my understanding is Jennifer, the girl who plays Jennifer,
Mhm.
her name is blanking on me, but she's really good. Uh, it said that this was their last season. So, and she's very crucial. It's kind of hard to explain because all the other shows are more crucial with their titular hero.
Mhm.
But I find Black Lightning leans just as much on his two daughters and their powers and their dealing with it and their lives and all that. So
Right.
losing one of them, it's very hard to keep going. And I'm also okay with it because, like I said, it's going out on such a high rather than to see what happened to a show like The Flash, where season 1 was so good and season 6 was so garbage, and to go from like my ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want to see that happen in Black Lightning. And Black Lightning every season's gotten better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the character is good, and they deal with stuff. I have some criticisms of way Supergirl handles getting their message across to the audience or showing the audience what like the meaning of this episode is. Whereas I find Black Lightning just let to develop naturally, and I've never had an issue with the way they portrayed race or problems, or everything's been enlightened, or everything's been like really hit me well compared to, like I said, some of the other DCCW shows. Uh, I'm gonna miss it for sure, and this just really gives me questions about the DCCW as a whole because it's I don't know, it doesn't look good, Greg. To be honest with you, with Arrow ending, Arrow gone, see you later, Supergirl ending, and Black Lightning ending. I
It's yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you know, the I looked up the tweet you sent me that was the copy of the showing that Black Lightning was ending, that statement with that, and I looked at some of their comments, and some of the comments were talking about, oh, it was, you know, or not some of the comments. It was before I'd seen this. Somebody was talking about Black Lightning and Supergirl being the best shows in DCCW, and they're the two that just gotten
That would
canceled.
be
So
me. I would have put Batgirl there as well, but or
yeah,
Batwoman, sorry, but the way that they changed the whole like changed everything around kind of soured up because I didn't. Okay, let me rephrase that. If I would have watched Batgirl as it was airing, I probably would have put this season in more high regard.
mm,
But knowing that Kate Kane is gone, kind of sullied the last few episodes with all of her, like everything that she had, like all her relationships between each character. So uh, I will endorse that opinion that Supergirl and Black Lightning have been were both the best seasons last year, if I'm not including Arrow.
okay.
Yeah.
Real quick, just kind of step away from that for a second. In the chat room, you know, I want to say thanks to everybody. The Truth, John K's in there, Clarence Gaming. John K asked a question when we were talking Stargirl. I must have missed, and it was a little random. Do you guys think on Stargirl they'll turn Jade green or just stick with giving her a ring?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know with Green Lantern going on at the same time. I don't know if we'll see a Green Lantern on the show, but in saying that they had the Lantern there, Maybe it's just a cool Easter egg because like Jeff Johns did write a lot of Green Lantern, so maybe that's why that was stuck in there. But I want to see another Green Lantern, but I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, but that's one good thing about Stargirl. They keep me on my toes in terms of who's going to come in and be a new hero, because I thought that Magician Kid was going to be a new hero in the third episode, and he didn't last any longer. I thought that Icicle's son was going to come to the good side. He didn't. I thought that Brainwave's son was going to turn
Well,
bad.
he
He
did,
didn't.
didn't he?
Not
At the end?
really. Oh, I got to see it first if it actually a
I'm pretty
pretty.
sure. I'm pretty sure he did at the end.
Courtney's love can change. I got to see that, right?
Yeah,
Because he was the
I
head of
know
a
you
guild.
had a big problem with the killing too, going from 1 second of talking about this and this and this, the next second killing. I get that.
Well, not even that. I didn't hate that because it was like the two of them switched their opinions. But we don't need to rehash Stargirl. But I don't think so, John. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that if they do introduce any kind of lantern in the show, it's going to be Alan Scott, because they've already alluded to that being the lantern that was in there. Now, this is just not going to happen. It's totally off the wall. How cool would it be
Don't say
if they went with the same concept, because technically it is, of everything in the DC universe, DC everything is connected, and you got to see one scene or one show with a few minutes of Alan Scott that is in Berlanti's Green Lantern.
Okay.
What do you think I was going to say?
So how are you going to say something if Ron Reynolds showing
No,
up? Like, honestly, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
What do you think about that? If they had, like, just because it would only take a second, it would only take a few scenes. It would take a day of filming.
It's not
to connect.
It's not.
Come on,
it's
no
not. I'm sorry, dude, but no, it's not. Like
everything's
no, yes and no. It's often his own thing. The other shows aren't going to affect it at all. Maybe one day that can come in for a crossover, but it's not like that. It's his own thing. The anthology series pretty much sells that for me. That it's not going to be involved with any of the other properties. I don't want to break your bubble here, but that's. I would bet money on that. I'm a gambler, and that's what I would bet my money on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just putting ideas out there.
Oh yeah, crazy your ideas are awesome, but I wish that you made the calls on that.
Yeah. I mean, so that really does lead us kind of into the question here, and it kind of talks about our show questions. But I mean, well, actually, before we do our show questions, do you want to go ahead and take our last breaks? We got the show questions we'll talk about, and then the would you rather's, and
yes, I have a special show question as well.
All right, good deal. Well, we have a couple show questions, a special show question. All right, good deal. Well, let's take our last little break here. Let's get out of here. It's folks, same deal as last time. We just picked spots, watch the volume. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So, all right, couple show questions that actually were pertaining to exactly what we were just discussing with DCCW. So,
yes,
do you have them pulled up? Do you want me to pull them up?
Okay. I got them there. Okay. First question from our good buddy Chris Belga over at Marvel Alliance. Question for DCA: does the end of Crisis even matter anymore, with them all gathering around the table in what was supposed to be the Hall of Justice, that they are the CW's version of the Justice League, with Black Lightning and Supergirl ending this season in a completely new Batwoman?
Can we take this one? Nope, it doesn't matter anymore.
Tell us why.
Doesn't matter one single bit. Every single thing they've written building up to that point, for me, and I haven't really paid attention to the DCCW in a few years, so it's not. I can't really speak a whole lot on it. But no, it just doesn't. It doesn't to me, because everything's changed. It's like trying to say that the direction the DCCW is going right now is where it was supposed to go from the beginning. It's just not. It's not, and it's okay, because they could still be successful without that. But I do think that scene means absolutely nothing now, because there was no I can't think of the word I'm looking for. You didn't finally get that. You never got to see it one time. Payoff. There you go. There was no payoff for it. So yeah.
Well, see,
but you're the bigger DCCW expert, so.
Chris. Does Crisis even matter anymore? It does for just an accomplishment. in terms of the overall storyline, I don't know if it matters anymore. You lose Black Lightning, you lose Supergirl, you have a different, uh, you have a different, different Black Batwoman. So I
Mhm.
don't know. Uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. It didn't mean I didn't it didn't mean as much to me then either. The whole thing that was more impressive to me was just them reaching that because I can remember watching Flash season one, episode one, pausing the TV and trying to read the article. Uh,
Yeah, I remember that too.
and to go like to see like it was a Green Arrow, Atom, and Hot Girl help Flash, fight Reverse Flash, and I was just like, oh my god, could you imagine one day if we had those four characters in an episode together?
Mhm.
And see where we came from that. So I don't want to discredit Crisis, even though it didn't hit everything for me. I think I will agree though that it doesn't matter as much anymore. It matters for the accomplishment, but it doesn't matter for the story. I
Right.
feel like they don't know what to do now. I feel like with Black Lightning ending, Supergirl ending, and Arrow ending, they like and Flash. I don't know how long Flash is going to survive. Uh, so we'll get into that next with the next question. So I think that it Crisis doesn't matter anymore. The kryptonite that was given to from Supergirl to Batwoman means nothing anymore because new Batwoman wouldn't know anything about that. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm especially like I told you, I took me a while to catch up this
Mhm.
year, and both Black Lightning and Supergirl were fantastic. So that's kind
Yeah.
of sours me even more because those were the ones I enjoyed the most after Arrow.
I wouldn't
So
mind going back for this show maybe one time and just for you know, a few episodes, maybe doing a review of the Black Lightning like a series
we
two of
could do
that because
seasons too because
yeah,
it's not
it'd
as
be
long.
fun.
It's not
Mhm.
as long as the. I think you would enjoy that one too, especially you went deeper into the seasons. I don't know where you started or stopped, but uh, Jefferson Pierce is such a great character,
Yeah.
and just the stuff that he goes through, and it's very well done. I'm sad to hear it go. That's for certain. And
Yeah. But
I,
isn't what is it? Painkiller? That's a direct spin-off of it, correct?
yes, but I don't know
Okay.
how long is
But
that
it's
gonna last,
right. And
really.
it still sucks to see one end to prop another one up.
Well, I enjoyed Jefferson's two daughters as much as I enjoyed him, so
Mhm.
that's another thing that's gonna suck to see.
Well, what's funny is that character, the actor who plays him, played in a television show that my wife used to love, and he played the mayor of some city. It was one of these feel-good family television, shows. It was a cute little show, but it was funny whenever I saw him, and then I saw him play in this role, and I was like, "Oh, cool, okay, like, this guy's got some range."
Oh,
So
he's such a good actor,
good
and
actor, yeah, very very good actor,
I
great
want to
actor.
say he's even voiced Black Lightning in. Nope, never mind. He voiced Steel in the Justice League animated universe.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was really cool. I thought that was a great little touch, and yeah, gonna start to see him go. And I think, yeah, that. Sorry, Chris, I don't think that Crisis even matters anymore. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, without
I agree.
especially the Justice League stuff, I don't think that matters. The honoring the Green Arrow I find funny too, because like at least a quarter of the table never ever met Green Arrow or didn't even know
Mhm.
anything about him. Yet they're like, oh yeah, honor him. So
It just sucks because with Crisis not even mattering, doesn't that make like Arrow's sacrifice kind of uh, like it just makes it kind of not as special. I don't know.
quiet you. We will not have any
Yeah,
Arrow slander in this podcast.
I hear.
Unless you're slandering season four, I will allow that.
Four and a half of five.
No, five's great. Not even gonna. That's like, oh, one other thing. I really hope somebody takes this out. I'm gonna clip it out. Dave from DC on Screen, your Arrow list for best to worst, hot garbage. Like fiery hot garbage of the garbages. I don't even know
Mhm.
how you don't have 5, 2, 1, and 8 in some varying order as your top four. I don't know. He had
Shots
five.
fired.
He had five as his worst season
Mm.
of this
Who
show.
who
Worse
who
than
is the villain in
four.
five?
Dave Robertson, apparently from DC on Screen. That's the villain in season five. I was blown away. It was Prometheus, and it was fantastic, and it really rebooted the show after the
Prometheus.
terrible fourth season. So Yeah, I'm sure Brent will agree with me that having season 5 as the worst Arrow season is. I would say I would channel my inner Stephen A. Smith and say it's blasphemous. Sorry, uh, but
I,
yeah, I just wanted to let that little shot in, Dave. You know I love you, but I was blown away listening to their most recent episode, and someone asked him that question, and they both gave their rankings. Jason's was I could get behind Jason's, but Dave's was I was blown away, blown away.
off the wall. I hear.
I was
I
blown
hear.
away. Yeah, you know, you like what you like, but I was just blown away.
I
Dave,
hear.
no discussions about that before. Never heard of that. So I was just wanted to get that out there. But yeah, it's DCCW. I don't know going forward, Greg. I don't have the inclining to like make sure like get up, find the correct stream, or find that my video on demand and watch it right away, like I do
Mhm.
like The Mandalorian or Boys this year or Arrow anytime Arrow ever came on. Even Flash. I kept watching it. I kept doing it to myself last year in
Mhm.
Flash, thinking it was going to change. So uh, no,
Oh, that's
don't.
actually
So
right
yeah,
into
go.
Tony's question there, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's going on with Flash?
Tony asks, do we think how much longer does the Flash have?
Right. It says don't hear much praise for it as we
Praise.
used to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, we're not hearing any more praise for it as we used to because it's garbage. The last
And
couple
actually,
seasons have been really garbage.
this is where I saw right here more people talking positive about Black Light and Supergirl than the Flash, and that's what's funny is Black Light and Supergirl, not funny, but terrible too. Those are two shows that have been canceled or in their last seasons. Look, man, I fell off the Flash a few years ago. I came into Arrow about midway through season 2, I think, or maybe right towards the beginning of season 3. I can't remember. Binged the first few seasons, loved it, loved it, loved it. Heard Flash was coming out, and I was like, oh, that might be an okay show, but I don't think they do Flash well on TV. Started watching it, loved the first season, Uh, Continued watching, as I go. Never really got into Legends that much, but watching DCCW shows, and then I just kind of fell off the Flash because it was just always, always, always the same problem of not fast enough. And it was just too long, man. 23 weeks is a long time to commit myself to sitting down every Tuesday night at this time. I mean, I know you can record it, but you want to see it as soon as it comes out. I don't know. I just fell off the Flash. It got a little stale for me. It got to be the same amount of stories, and I think that has to do with how long the seasons are. I think you could put a lot more potential in the show and a lot more story in the show that people care about if it was just shorter seasons. And I think that's what killed it. But I don't see the Flash lasting much longer. But then again, I haven't watched it in a couple of years, so for me, it's already kind of dead. Like I don't know for people watching it how they would feel.
For me, it's already dead.
I
Still live
mean,
show.
I
I ain't
haven't
shoot. I ain't
watched it. I
shoot it.
haven't watched it, and I don't know if I play. And that's not to talk any trash about the actors.
No, I
I
just thought it
love.
was funny. I just thought it was
Yeah,
funny where the show's still going. It's like to me, it's dead. Like
yeah. I mean,
if someone says like he's dead to me, it's basically the same thing. It's like
yeah. I hear
he's
you.
alive, but I don't care about his existence. But you're not wrong, Greg, because like I've continually gotten kicked in the balls for like believing in this show.
Mhm.
Uh, I did enjoy the Nora parts from season 5, but that's not enough for the. And the best part of season 6 was Reverse Flash, and it made it meaningless. So uh, he
That was
didn't
after
even.
I fell off. Was the Nora in season 5?
But I enjoyed that part of it. But you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
They bogged that down with cicada garbage. So it's
yeah.
just. It's tough, man. Tony, I don't know if it's going to get. I don't see it getting more than 2 seasons. I think it could end after this season, and I would if I was betting money, that's what I would bet that it would end after this season.
Mhm.
But I could also see it going another season. Like people don't realize, no show for the DCCW has got reached the heights that Flash reached in terms of comic book shows. It was the highest rated. Its first couple seasons were absolute fire.
I was gonna say it had to have been like mid season 2 that it was
First
mid
one
season
and
2,
two,
beginning of season 3. Yeah,
season one, season two were like on fire.
yeah,
Season one is still like hidden shoulders, but that's
yeah.
different. Also, like things are streamed a lot easier now and measured. Like I always say, people don't realize that all the DCCW superhero shows are right there with Game of Thrones. They were for 8 years for most stream
Okay,
shows.
okay, I get you in that. Yeah.
So like that's free stuff, free like that's not free, but that's illegal downloads that you can't measure really. So you don't
Mhm.
know how many people are watching. So because we all don't have the CW app that we can watch carefree, uh, I like our American counterparts. But no, I don't see Flash lasting much longer. I think that the writing's on the wall, and if it was in terms of the quality of the shows, the past season, Flash would have been canceled before the end credits finished for the final episode of season 6.
Yeah, like I haven't watched it, so I couldn't tell you anything.
I
Like I
have.
said, so yeah,
Trust me on that.
but just from what I hear, I haven't watched it, and I haven't had anybody come tell me, dude, you've got to go watch the Flash. You've got to see what happened. Like, so, okay. I mean, see what happens with it. But that's about it for the. Well, actually, that was about it for no.
I have a secret question.
Oh, that's right. You do have a secret question.
Not really a secret question. Question from patron Carl Ritchie.
Okay.
Question for DC Alliance. Hey guys, random question for you. Did you watch the show Gotham, and what did you think of it? I know it got a lot of mixed reviews. I personally liked a lot of the episodes and the characters in it, but like most shows now, had too many filler episodes. I really liked the Riddler. I thought it was a great portrayal. The Penguin was different to what I was used to seeing, but it really grew to like him. Bruce and Alfred had a great connection. It's just a pity about the kid's age and size. I thought he was a pretty decent actor in the role. And then he got a second part to the question, but let's get our thoughts on this part first.
Okay. Gotham was the same way for me that Flash was. I watched the first few seasons, really enjoyed it, and then I started to kind of fall off it. And then maybe what he's talking about with kind of the filler stuff, made it difficult to get through. And I liked the characters. I liked all the castings in that role. The guy who played Jim Gordon. I liked the relationship that he,
Ryan
Bruce,
from the OC.
Yeah, I like the relationship that Bruce had with Alfred. I like the Alfred in this one. Riddler was an awesome take. I loved Enigma in this, and I loved that the Penguin. I really enjoyed his take on this. Great character. I wasn't a huge fan of Fish Mooney.
Fish Mooney.
Yeah,
I was like, she's terrible.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that. Not that I don't like the actress or anything, just the character in general. I wasn't a huge fan of. But I kind of fell off it. I think like midway through the third season, and I would still come back and watch little bits and pieces of it, and I would see the Joker and everything else, which Hanahan or whatever the guy's name is that plays the Joker, and that did a great job. Looks the part. I love him in Shameless. He's a great character, great actor. But I just fell off it, and I mean, like I said, the same thing for me with Flash. It just had too much filler. Like the story got too big for me to really care about it that much because I wanted to see Batman, which makes me concerned about what's going on with the new Gotham show in HBO Max. But I think that one's going to be a little different because that one's not going to be the making of Batman. That's just a Gotham City show, correct?
Yes.
That's tied in. That's linked to the
year one
universe.
Batman,
right? So, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed for what it was worth, and for when I saw of it. I'll probably never go back and watch it unless I'm reviewing it for something. But it's okay. What about you, man?
First off, thanks, Kyle, for the question.
Yes, very much.
Great question, actually, because I really did enjoy a lot of Gotham. But like Greg, I kind of got it was tough for me in the third and fourth season. I fell completely off. Some characters, like the one, like everything that you mentioned about the show, I loved. Like the Riddler was fantastic.
All the good points.
Yeah, mentioned all the really good points. There was also some stuff like Harvey Bullock. I really loved the character for Harvey Bullock as well.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Logue, like you see him in everything. He's in anything and everything. I'm confident he was in at least one Outer Limits episode, which is like naughty's kind of scary show. Like you said, James Gordon. I enjoyed Ben McKenzie. I think he's a good actor. I wish Fish Mooney was never created. It was a terrible character. Same thing goes with Barbara Gordon, whatever you want to call her.
I wasn't a huge fan of her.
I hated her. I just wish that she would have blew up. Like I couldn't stand her. But there was other characters like Lucius Fox that I thought was really good. Leslie Tompkins. There's, like I said, I thought the Penguin was really interesting as well.
Yeah.
I didn't hate him, and it's an interesting take when you got to learn to grow like that. And like you said, the Batman and Alfred, those were really great as well. I enjoyed the show, and I probably will go back and check it out someday. But it probably won't be for a while because there's far too many shows on the list. And the second part of his question was, so if you've seen the show using the same cast, what story would you like to see them do using a HBO style budget? And Carl, there is a little bit more of your question here, and we're going to blame Snell Travis Snell for that, because he sent a line of the question in a like screen capture form, and it kind of cuts off at so if you would have so that last part using an HBO style budget with, and then it cuts it. So we're just going to say HBO style budget and streaming service, HBO Max.
Well, it really just depends. I mean, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a continuation of this story where now we have the Batman, or a continuation of Gotham where you have young Bruce and he's not Batman yet? Because those change the stories up. Because I honestly don't know a story you could tell with, or at least from the comics, with a young Bruce Wayne that's not Batman yet.
Gregory, he finished off the end of the show as Batman.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on if you're talking about a continuation of the show where he is Batman, or if you're talking about a part of that show, like HBO Max did an in-depth dive of in between seasons 2 and season 3.
He's just asking
for continuation.
He's just saying using the same cast. What story would you like? Like he didn't say using the same cast as season 1, so you can use the cast at any point in time during this show. So if you want to use it at season 5, episode 10, when Batman comes back, like when Buddy comes back as actual Batman, Bruce, when Bruce comes back as actual Batman, you can use that. Like you don't have to get into the semantics here. Like it's either like what kind of Batman story would you like to see, or what kind of Gotham story? Like for me, it would be Batman Year One. Yeah. Or No Man's Land with actual Batman in it, because it's kind of like a variation of No Man's Land in the season 5. So I kind of would like to see that, but with Batman. Or I would like to see Year One and see how far do these criminals take their persona once they see Batman out on the scene? Like, do they go like high line before they go full like Riddler's, like, full blown their evil personalities? Did they lose themselves completely in them? How long does that take? That's the kind of stuff I'm interested in as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only way you can go directly after, if you're talking about just directly after the show, like they're making the next season of it, is you got to go into a Year One, you know? I mean, he's got to go through those hardships and that experience and everything else before he gets any. I mean,
well, you could fast forward past that as well. You could use Ra's al Ghul, who's been in the show, and
but with the same characters.
Yeah,
that's the only issue.
You can't pause the age. You're just using the same cast. You can't pause the age. So
yeah,
Bruce grows. I don't know what the issue would be about. Like Ra's was in that show.
I don't know. I guess I'd have a hard time seeing like the way the show ended. You've just seen Batman. Batman is just beginning. You know, like this is the start of Batman. Batman.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to put something like Court of Owls or Long Halloween or a huge big story, because I feel like you have to earn that as Batman to get to that point. I don't feel like anything with that cast would make sense.
But a lot of that stuff has been hinted at, Greg, in the show. So you're going on 5 seasons of story that you have earned it.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point.
And if you are okay with like basically watching 5 seasons and 9 episodes, or 4 like almost 5 full seasons, besides 1 episode, and that episode is the only episode you get to see Batman in, I'm sure you can handle that, what we're talking about here. If you waited that line for just that one payoff for that 1 episode, I'm sure you can like not see Year One and go to Year 5. And I don't see many of Gotham's fans complaining because of the time jump beforehand, and you only get to see Batman for 1 episode. I don't see much of a problem there, to be honest with you. So I'd probably do Year One or No Man's Land storylines, or maybe even like City of Bane is a new one that came out. That would be a pretty cool one as well. So those were one of the 3 that I would pick, Carl, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, for me, it would just be kind of Year One. I mean, I guess if I'm picking my favorite kind of stories, I'd love to see. Well, that's just way too far in the future. I would say something you have. I'm trying to think of something with an ensemble of characters, something like White Knight series would be great. Just to have all those characters on there with this cast would be pretty cool.
It's not a bad idea either.
So, all right, man. Well, I think that's it for the show questions, right?
Yep. Thank you, Carl.
Cool. Yes. Thank you very much, man. And once again, everybody, we're always asking for show questions every week. So just hit us up. We'll try our best to get them in and give you some decent answers to them. So see what we can do. We got one more thing to talk about tonight, and that's this week's Would You Rathers. I'm sorry, I only got 2 out this week. It's kind of difficult to think of these sometimes. And it's interesting because the ones that I think of that I originally are not going to be good, I'm like, oh, nobody's going to like this, end up having the most controversial results. So
Listeners, Travis is going to put out the Would You Rathers for next week.
Oh, okay. Give me a break. I got you.
I'm going to do them tomorrow.
I like that.
Not because they haven't been, because a lot of them have been very high quality, Greg, and they've been so good that I've been like, which one should I pick? Not like I'm picking this one. Well, minus the DC, Marvel, Star Wars. Pick which one you want to be on.
DC one.
Yeah, but obviously there was no thinking for me. There was no competition. Like, click. So, but every other one, like invisibility, invincibility, like I love how you stagger them and the power. So yeah, I'm gonna try and take a page from your book and do a couple of really good ones.
Good deal, man. I'm excited. Ready for it. Just remember to set the dates for the poll, because I've done that a couple times where I've had to go back and delete them because I only set the day for one day. So
you're acting like this cat never had to make 16 polls for superhero discussions a month ago.
That's true. All right, well, let's get to our first Would You Rather this week, and it was would you have to pick a teammate to partner with for an Earth-based mission? Would you rather team up with a master tactician or an expert in combat? I actually thought of this question as I was listening to the Thrawn books. I've been listening to them while I deliver mail. I just finished the third one. I have a new favorite Star Wars character, completely off DC subject, but I thought about how great of a tactician he was, and I was like, man, it would be so great to work with something like that. But he's just not good in hand-to-hand combat. It's not somebody you want to fight with you. So it raised the question in my mind of what you would rather have. And surprisingly, well, actually, which would you rather have in this situation?
First off, I thought it was what ability would you rather have? So
I got you.
I took the second one, the
master in combat.
Yes.
Or expert in combat. Okay.
Expert in combat. Actually, yes, I did take the expert in combat, but now looking at the wording, I'll take the master tactician, because you're only an expert in combat. You're not a master. So you're a master.
I guess,
And that's important because there was a death battle for Batman versus Captain America, and Captain America was what you just said for fighting.
Expert in
all martial arts styles, and Batman was a master in all martial arts styles, and Batman won.
Figure Batman would win that anyway.
So I'm going taking my shot in the dark here, and that's what I'm going with.
I ended up going with master tactician as well. The fans actually voted, and 75% said master tactician. Also, only got 12 votes on this one, so it wasn't quite as popular. But yeah, I just feel like you can always win with a good plan. You can't always win fighting your way in, and I guess that's why I love Batman so much, because he has both of those, and it's why I love this character Thrawn so much, because he's just always 17 steps ahead of his opponent.
I really wish I had his cigar right now, because I would channel my inner A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together.
There you go. Yep.
God dang, I love that show. Oh, like if you hear that theme song, you got to know it's A-Team.
Yeah.
No, that's the A-Team corner of DC Alliance for this week.
That's right. It was right after the Star Wars corner. Yeah. So there we go. All right. So second, would you rather? And this one.
One other thing. If it's just for the ability, I would take the master tactician, because you can always hire some guys to do your
dirty work.
And
that's right.
You can take the profits. So yeah. If it was question of ability, I would go with master tactician all day.
I think for me, no matter what the situation is, I'm taking tactician.
I don't really want to work with a tactician, because just for example, listeners, like the Clock King episodes of Arrow and Flash, Arrow especially, he has people working for him that he doesn't really care about at all. And that's the same thing with Snart. Anybody that, if you're working for somebody, even if they're a master tactician, if they're evil, they'll kill you anyway. They probably already thought of the way to kill you. So yeah. I'd rather go, but then the person in combat could physically kill you. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't there.
All right. Second, would you rather? And this one, like I said, I was actually proud of. This has the most votes of any would you rather. I was getting people all over the place answering to this one. 53 votes, which is pretty good for a couple weeks doing this. And I asked, would you rather, for the first time, see Wonder Woman 84 in theaters or at home? And Chris messaged me after this, and I probably should have worded a little differently. He's right, based on COVID situation. So if
All
it
right,
wasn't
Captain
COVID right now, it
Rulebook.
would change the question, I'm sure. But I am probably going to end up seeing it at home first because there's a good chance that I'm going to wake up Christmas morning and watch it at home. Go ahead.
That's not what the question was, sir.
What was the question?
Would you rather? Not what are you going to do?
Oh, no. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And it's
Which one would Mr. Greg rather do?
I answered in theaters.
Okay.
So just because in the ideal world, I would rather see it in theaters, but there's a chance that I may not get to see it in theaters.
Today, if everything was the way it was and you could go out to the theaters, you don't know if it's going to be full capacity, half. Do your thing have limits on capacity? I don't know what your.
Not sure. I spoke with a few people at work today about possibly renting the theater out Christmas Day and seeing if I get 15 people that wanted to do it and we could rent it out for $20 a piece.
But if it's not if it's half capacity, they probably won't rent it out to you. They'll probably try and get the money like that too, right? I don't know.
Depends. I'm not
at
sure.
At a certain capacity, it beholds him to taking that. But here, for example, Greg, everything shit hit the fan for COVID cases, and we only had an outbreak of 5 and an outbreak of 3 and an outbreak of 3 in 3 different parts of the island, and they were all resulting from people coming back from out of province and not quarantining for 14 days. So. But they already shut everything down again here. So now I got extra worried because they had a press conference and everything today about it. That amounts to we don't even have 20 cases. We have less than 20 cases, but we've had 8 in the past 2 or 3 days. Whereas, I was telling you before, I hate saying this because I know COVID has impacted so many of our listeners and so many people around the world, but it hasn't really changed much on this island. For a month and a half, things were a little different. Besides the whole, we have a mandate, you go into any place, you got to wear your mask. But besides that, it hasn't really changed much around here. So, as a blessing in a sense, but there's people get lax with their with their discipline and what they do for themselves and others. So I'm really worried because of how quick, people don't realize how quick, these 500,000 people here, they shout and they scream. We closed out from everybody again today because of those extra couple of cases. Before there was 4 provinces in just next to each other, all islands, and you were allowed to travel amongst those 4, but not anywhere else in Canada without quarantining for 14 days. But now we're out of that, and anyone that comes here got to quarantine for 2 weeks, and you got to be from here to come here. So I'm just worried that they'll shut down theaters if it gets a little bad here because because our population skews really old, Greg. So the virus attacks old people like it's anybody's business. I'm worried because I don't have that option to watch it on HBO Max. So you don't have the option, but
you don't. Then again, I guess that is a special they're doing on HBO Max. So you may have the option to watch stuff that's on HBO Max, but maybe not to be able to stream.
No, it's not this because they already have a deal in place. The people that get this content, the streaming platforms, they already have a deal in place that after it's been out in theaters for so long, they get it. Right,
13 days has to include 2 Fridays, right?
But no, I don't think that's the case with this one here. Okay, it's going to be in theaters longer. Not for HBO Max. I'm not saying that, but for the Crave app because normally they reached that they reached that deal with Wonder Woman before COVID, right? So they are assuming that when it goes in theaters, the theatrical window is really long time. Then you got that little break. Then you got release for VOD and streaming services at the same time, right? So we haven't got it out in theaters yet. So if, for example, I got the Crave TV streaming app, that's not going to get Wonder Woman for a couple months.
Right.
Now it's going to be available for purchase in 1 month on video on demand.
So you have no option. So, if your theaters are open, you'll be able to see it in theaters.
Oh yes. Okay. But unfortunately, it's probably going to be Christmas Day. I don't think we're getting it early, like some other international markets, which sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, I mean, I don't think I love
I'm
going to
making
see
a
a movie on
special.
Christmas Day.
I may make a special trip. Yeah, I got to drive 3 hours to watch my movie for Christmas Day. So
Gosh, I feel bad about thinking about that. 3 hours and a 3 hour round trip. I could probably hit up 35 movie theaters
yeah,
within
so basically,
around me. That's crazy.
I got to drive 6 hours if I want to go see Wonder Woman on Christmas Day and return to my family who does. We don't have my little brother around because he's not allowed to enter the province. And
Quarantine. I hear you.
so
I hear
yeah,
you. Well, we kind of strayed away from the question there. I answered in theaters is what I want to see first. I'll probably end up seeing it at home first, unless HBO Max just pisses me off more, and then I won't. Even then, I'll just wait and go see it in theaters later that day. What'd you answer, man? You didn't want me to get on that on this show, so
no,
I'm
I
not going to
just
talk
could
about
squat.
DC. I'm
I
not
could
going to talk
squat
about how
you
they
when you
pissed me off
say.
today.
I could squat you that when you say HBO Max pisses you off when you can get it on your PlayStation. I'm just like, oh, it's such a hard. I'm sorry, it's such a trial and tribulation to unplug, to hold it on PlayStation button and turn off PlayStation and unplug the PlayStation power and bring it into the room. It's like I mean, like how did we survive as a society before that?
Hey,
Like.
hey, whatever, man. I don't.
You're not wrong about
Yeah.
everything you're saying is wrong. Like HBO Max is being goddamn idiots, and Roku is being god.
Yes,
I don't think it's more Roku than HBO Max. I
and don't
think
get me wrong. I think it's very stupid they're not international.
but
Why?
that's not
Just
just
so fucking
lies,
stupid. Like, no, I
lies.
don't care, man. Figure a way around it. Figure a
Greg,
fucking way around
you
it.
can say you don't care, but when you're the people that sold your content
Oh,
for a lot
yeah.
of money because you were in the red, not and knowing that everything was going to streaming, like there was Netflix was out for a long time when they made that deal with Crave. So knowing that they went that way, it was basically who was running WB before should have been like never
Right.
been run it, and we've seen so many examples of that.
Right.
So now I think they're positioned well, and they may get to me eventually, like earlier than 2025, which is when I see it happening.
Mhm.
But it'd be that would have to result in them buying out some deals with Crave TV and other places. But I don't see that happening. So I would prefer to watch Wonder Woman 84 at home, honestly, on Christmas Day if I could do it. On
Okay.
HBO Max, on streaming, like on an app, even on my PlayStation. Uh,
Okay.
but I don't have that option, so I gotta try and get in Christmas. I want to watch it. I want to do a review with you, like Boxing Day or 27 or whenever we can, just to get out there quickly. So I
Hmm.
don't want you to be waiting on me for 3 or 4 days. Like he still hasn't seen this movie. Like Snell, come on, let's go record.
I
So
hear you.
I
Hey.
want to do the
Yeah.
first DC movie. So I'm hoping we get it early, Greg, because I finished school on the 18th. So I have a few free days before I have to go out home to for Christmas.
Mhm.
So fingers crossed that they change some things and we get a few days earlier at the very least.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
get that. Well, what did you vote? You voted in theaters, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
Which would you rather
I
see?
had no other option. So
Oh yeah,
theaters.
I hear you. Well, it was a which would you rather?
Yeah.
Didn't
Oh,
mean what
you I
your
just
options.
told
So
yeah,
yeah,
but
and actually theaters won 60-40, which surprised me that it was that close, 60 to
really, I
40. Yeah,
think you're
I
understating
figured theaters would have been a
convenience.
renounding winner, but I mean it was pretty close to being
I'm
down
a
the
little
middle.
over I'm a little over theaters, especially with how high quality the TV screens are these days. And
Yeah,
now there's our times, but like opening night of a movie, like before
I,
COVID, you're
I love that stuff, man. I love going to the
stranger.
movie theater. Oh
Buddy to the right of me that sneezes and doesn't cover it, and buddy to the left of
no,
me that's typing on his phone and won't stop. So
nope. All the movie theaters I go to around me, man, it's like stadium seating, and like literally, you sit down in your nice leather recliner that rotate that reclines like all the way back, so you're basically laying down, and you have a wall in front of you where you can't see the people in front of you unless they're standing up. Then you can only see their head, and you've still got feet before you see the screen, so nobody's messed up your view. Like I love going to the movies at these grand theaters around here. The Grand is what they're called. Grand theaters around here, man. They're absolutely fantastic. Now it's expensive. I mean, it's expensive. It's about $14 for a ticket to go see a good movie. And, if you're going to go get popcorn and everything else, you're going to spend it about $60-70 at the movie theater. But man, it's worth it. It's such a great experience. And I miss it so much, man. Uh, it's one thing that I missed a whole lot more when COVID first started. I'm coping with it now. a whole lot better because I would go see a movie or two at
Have you
least a
seen
month. You
Tenet?
know,
Have you seen Tenet
I
yet?
haven't. No, I haven't seen Tenet
Oh
yet.
my God.
So
Listeners, like try to get on Greg to do that because we could even review that on DC
yeah,
Alliance. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. I
Super
love
Civil
the movie.
Servants. Is it a DC
Oh,
movie?
no, no.
Okay.
I
Well,
just,
Super Civil Servants we need
yeah,
to.
that too.
So yeah.
But there's a few people. Well, when that comes out on VOD, we'll be able
Oh,
to
definitely.
assemble
Yeah,
the
I
assemble
want
the
to
crew.
watch it. I just haven't gotten
Oh
out to
yeah,
go see
and
it.
like
So
I want to preface all this because I said this. I think I said this last week. I'll say it. I'm pretty sure I said it a couple weeks ago. I'll say it 2 weeks from now. If I was in one of the big cities, I would not be going at all. Like I
yeah.
would not trust it because I just it's so easy to pass on. There's so many people. Like people don't wear their masks here at all either, and it's just like common courtesy. But even in the theaters, like you can't do it while you're eating, and then some people takes it off and never puts it back on, and so if when there's a vaccine, I'd love to go to the theaters again. And here I can pick times
Mhm.
because there's only 100,000 people in this town, and if Wonder Woman's showing for a month and a half, I can get there
Right.
at
You'll
one
be able to
o'clock
get
on
there.
I can
Yeah.
get there 1 o'clock on a Friday when I have no class, or one
Hmm.
o'clock on a Monday when I'm done class at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I can watch the movie. So I will see it, but wish it
Well,
was wish it
see,
was in HBO Max.
it's funny for me, man, because I live in like right in between like Winston-Salem and Greensboro, like an hour away from Charlotte, an hour away from Raleigh, one to the south, one to the east. And I live in a fairly major city, you know, like those are pretty large cities. And I never have a problem with the movies. Never, ever, ever. Well, I can't say that. Whenever Endgame came out, if I didn't the first time I went to see it, it was hard. It wasn't hard getting tickets, but like I didn't get to pick exactly where I wanted to sit. Like it was a lot more sold out than any other movie. And if I'd have waited, it definitely would have been sold out. And I think
Your
the
gri-
second time I saw it.
your gripes are amazing.
Well, no, I'm not griping.
No,
I'm not griping. I'm pointing out how crazy that is. That like I never have a problem seeing a movie around here because there are so many movie theaters around me. Now, all the little mom and pop ones have closed down since COVID. Like every one of them. The one that I grew up to, it was a mile away from my house growing up.
Is that
It's
the one you were
gone.
thinking about buying, or no? You were talking about
No, that's the
drive-in,
drive-in I was
drive-in.
thinking about buying. This is an actual movie theater. I have so many
You
memories
know,
there. Oh my gosh, so many memories
drive-in's not
there.
a bad idea either,
It's
Greg,
not a bad idea.
because
It's only about 5 miles away from my house to
no,
drive
but
in.
not only
So
that, it's just like in terms of the way people are going to watch movies for a little while.
yeah.
You even got that with like I know Obama spoke. I want to say Michigan, and it was like a everyone bring up their cars and like rally and like and honk and stay in your cars. And I was just
See,
like, sounds a bit more responsible, but just for that, I was like, if you can drag that many people there for a speech, then you
yeah.
can definitely drag people like, and
Let's
you
go
won't
see
even drag
Avengers
people,
Endgame or
but
Batman vs Superman. Yeah.
oh my god, those
So,
things on big screen TV outside, like,
mhm.
uh,
And all the drive-in theaters we have around here, because there's one about an hour away from where I'm at. It has like an area for people play soccer and football and frisbee. It has a grill, places. It's got all kinds of things to do, so you can actually go there hours before the movie and hang out and have barbecues and picnics and everything else, and then watch
can't
the movie.
anymore.
Well, yeah, you're right. You can't anymore. You're right, but that's the way it was before. So, dude, we have totally gone off on a tangent.
COVID's
We're just
like
having
you
a
can.
conversation now.
Well,
Like we're
yeah,
not
we're
even
still
doing a
alive. We're
podcast.
still
We're
alive.
just having a
You'll
conversation.
cut that part for the you'll
Nope.
cut that part for the
No, I
podcast.
sure won't.
But the
Dude,
poor listeners, dude. Okay,
minimal edit,
let's wrap. No,
maximum
no,
effort,
don't say
minimal
that.
editing.
What are you doing? But why don't you be like Nathan now and say, don't skip the ads because don't tell listeners that you barely put any effort into editing the podcast.
I didn't say I did put a
Minimal
barely
effort.
minimal effort into editing as far as what's out there. It's getting put up there, but it still takes a minute for me to put everything together,
Greg,
So
minimal effort. I do nothing. And I'm like, dude,
uh,
if you do nothing, what do I do?
uh, uh.
So they're like,
Oh, man.
hold
All right,
hold
hey,
the
let's get out of here, man. We've ripped everything out. Let's get out of here. Where can they find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line. We can chat about DC anytime. We also do superhero discussions where Greg is slowly but surely breaking my heart as we watch Batman the Animated Series. I'm just kidding.
When
Like
I
I
get
told
to
him,
episode 10, I'll come
and
around, right?
yeah, you
Yeah,
may even
so
there
we'll
may
see.
even be one here coming up, but we're debating either. Well, we got to schedule it with Chris Balga for Death in the Family, but we just might knock off another 3 episodes of
There's the
Batman the Animated
Death in the
Series,
Oh, you do the Death in the
the
Family
movie.
DVD. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant there was a Death in the Family episode in Batman the Animated Series. I was like, I'm excited, but no. Okay, but I'm still, yeah, the movie's awesome. I want to cover that. So
I'm just gonna say over the edge. And okay, you don't know what that means, so we're gonna keep going forward. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. We're gonna tackle Batman the Animated Series. I'm really excited. Eventually, Greg's gonna fall in love with this. It will happen. It just takes
I
a little
definitely
time.
think I'll fall in love with it. Yeah.
I don't hate it. No.
Yeah.
You're just like I said, no big deal. Just a little joke here. But yeah, you found me Super Discussions, DC Alliance, Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, and Travis_156.
Bam. And you can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter, all those places he just said, and as Super Civil Servants, which you can add him to as well. And that's about it. Oh, no, wait. C3 Panthers podcast. We podcast live after games on Sundays and Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube, check us out. It's all the places you can find me. Dude, I am ready to get out of here. Let's go play some NBA 2K and let you beat the crap out of me in that. How about that? We haven't done that in a while.
Wise man say, never pay full price for pizza.
That's right. Pizza. Which, by the way, how about them Lakers? New look Lakers. We'll talk about that later. Folks, till next week. Keep bound them.
Later, guys. Jordan's goat.
Now I just got to get the...
Greg's like, I will edit that part out.
Oh, wait. I don't want to end meeting.
Don't matter either.